everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Channel. It is Murph, it's Caleb Brashear, it's the Bash Brothers, and we're back for 147 laps of AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Grand National Action, live from the virtual Lady in Black. It's the throwback weekend. It's the Black Magic Studios 200 from Darlington. And Caleb, what is there to say about Darlington except tires is what wins a race here?
Well, in comparison to other ovals, it confuses me a little bit, Murph. It's not exactly an even style oval. It's actually egg-shaped to where turns 1 and 2 are wider than 3 and 4. So that's like the main thing, besides tire wear, obviously, in terms of the characteristics of this track. But most of the time, drivers don't realize it. They're just going to run laps, and that'll be at the back of their mind.
Yeah, it is an oddly shaped track. As you mentioned, the Speedway built 1950 by a gentleman named Harold Brassington. Brassington had gone to the Indianapolis 500 in 1933, and he decided that he was going to build a comparable speedway in South Carolina. He came home and started carving out a 1.5 mile speedway in Darlington, South Carolina. However, the track is not 1.5 miles. It's 1.366 miles. It's an egg shape. And the reason you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen, there is a pond up there that is known as Ramsey's Pond. A farmer by the name of J.S. Ramsey, who was one of Brassington's friends, who donated quite a bit of the land for the track to be built on. Well, that was his favorite minnow pond, and so he did not want the track to interrupt his fishing, Caleb. So the track had to be built around the fishing pond, and that's why one end is more narrow than the other, and the fishing pond is still there today, and no, you can't fish in it. The track itself, steeped in history. It's been a part of the NASCAR circuit since its inception. At one point, there were only 2 races, and I don't know if you know this, Caleb Brashear. At one point, there were only 2 American races that were listed with results in the Guinness Book of World Records. One was the Indianapolis 500, and the other was the Southern 500, held right here at Darlington, and that lasted up through the early 1970s. This track has also hosted AAA championship car races, so the forerunner to Indy cars. They came here in 1950, 1951, and 1954, and that in 1956, and that was on the spring weekend. Eventually, there were 2 NASCAR weekends here. The Indy cars were replaced. IROC also came here in 93, 94, and 95, and in 2007, they had a one-off USAC Silver Crown Speedway Series race here. You remember those cars, Caleb?
I do not, Murph. I was only 5 years old at the time when that was around, so no, I do not, Murph.
So the USAC Silver Crown Pavement Series is interesting. It's essentially is a beefed-up pavement Silver Crown car. It was meant to kind of get drivers ready for Indy cars. It's a very, very quick machine. They'll do about 200 miles an hour in a straight line, and it's kind of halfway between a dirt car and a front engine Indy car. They're really kind of interesting machines to behold. Alas, it was not very popular, but those cars are extremely quick. They'll run them on anything up to 1.5 miles. In terms of records here at Darlington, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Grand National Series record, Ryan Blaney in the 2019 Sport Clip Haircuts VFW 200, 29,196. We are not going to be anywhere near that. The pavement is pretty worn out for that to happen. The race here tonight, 147 laps, 200.8 miles. It is the Black Magic Studios 200. Stages at 45 and 90. Final stage, 57 laps. They're going to have 4 sets of tires in the box. Your defending winner is Greg Evans, and he also holds the track record here for AMA competition at 29.723. And I guess the question tonight is, It's going to be a battle between Greg Evans and Peyton Howell. Maybe Ryan O'Donohue can sneak in there. We've got a couple of minutes left in practice, about 3 minutes. As always, Caleb, we're going to let you guess, and we're going to give you 3 shots. Who do you have as the fastest man in Darlington tonight?
I think the first guess is always Peyton Howell, because I think that's the big obvious one for my first guess.
It is not currently Peyton Howell. Right now, the fastest man in virtual Darlington is Ryan O'Donohue, 29.810. He's got about 28 thousandths on Peyton Howell. Greg Evans, Trevor Ryan, Riley Lean are the remaining cars atop the leaderboard in practice as we get ready to get down to business in qualifying. Caleb, we were kind of talking about it earlier. You ran some laps here. What's this going to be like for the drivers tonight?
Well, the car is very unstable around here in comparison to most Speedway. It kind of acts like a short track in regards to, how steep the banking is, but obviously with it being, 2 completely corners on opposite sides of the track, wider 1 and 2, tighter 3 and 4. And the car gets really, really loose on the high side of the banking. Now, of course, that's going to wear out tires more. And we notice at least I notice particularly, the tires usually can give about 10 laps. And then after that, it starts dropping off massively. So this is going to be quite a tire save race. It usually always is here at Darlington. So we will see who is able to manage their stuff the best here, Murph.
Yeah, we're going to see who's going to be able to manage their stuff the best in terms of both being on the track, but also, Caleb, we're going to see who's going to be able to manage those 4 sets in the pits. Oftentimes, this race can turn into a situation where it comes down to whoever has a set of tires to put on the car at the right time. You and I were kind of discussing it. I don't think, and I don't think you think this either, I don't believe that we're going to see a straight green flag run here from start to finish with only interrupted by the stages. You're going to see cars in the wall. You're going to see Darlington stripes. You're going to see drivers hit that fence. And to be honest, as we go here, and I look at it, like this. I want to take care of my car. I want to take care of my equipment to the extent of I don't want to hit anything until it comes showtime. But also, Caleb, I want to make sure I've got a set of tires left over in the pits for that caution that comes out with about 20 laps to go. I think that's going to be the play. They do not need to stop for fuel. Fuel is anywhere from 60 to 70 laps. The longest they're going to have to go in a stretch here is 57, so we're not going to be stopping for fuel. But the tires, Caleb, they wear out under caution here. So anytime they get a chance to bolt on a set, we're going to see some people do so. And when that happens, it creates chaos because you have fast cars in the back. You've got slower guys up front. The other bit, Caleb, it is very, very, very difficult to restart a car here on worn tires. You almost have to gear up to avoid spinning the tires.
Yeah, of course, that's always difficult with this short track style. Even though it's over a mile, it still handles like a short track, like we were talking about. Worn tires on a short track, especially on the restarts, just the car is heavy. The car makes a lot of horsepower. It's very hard, especially when you lack that grip already, even with fresh tires, and then you throw about 20, 30 laps on it, and the grip just goes away even more. So it's very tricky to restart these cars, but we'll see as we go into qualifying who is able to start at the front and possibly set the tone for the rest of the field here.
We will indeed. We're going to get on board right from the get-go with Trevor Ryan, and we'll let him show us the way around this tricky 1.366 mile oval. We're on board Trevor Ryan. Now, this should be a first lap qualifying run here, Caleb.
Yeah, the tires are usually the freshest on the first lap. You don't usually typically see that at many speedways or even short tracks in general. you typically always see the second lap is the fastest, but because of how much the tires just wear off here, you got to really make sure you get a good run coming out of the pit lane going into turn number 3, and that way you could just be on the throttle for your first lap. As we see Trevor Line get very, very close to the wall, and you'll see that do it the entire day here at Darlington, to where they'll be right up against that wall there to get, try to get as much speed as they can.
Yeah, and you kind of see it coming off of turn number 4. You want to, you kind of see it coming off of turn number 4 there. You want to try to get the wheel as straight as possible exiting these corners. Eric Anderson in the chat said turn 2 should be fun. We've already had our first Darlington stripe in turn 2, and we're watching the first qualifying effort of the evening in Trevor Ryan. He's on his second lap now. This one clean. He got a 0x on the first one, Caleb. The first lap, the hot lap, did not count.
No, it does not. He's going to have to rely on the second. We'll see how he does as he comes across the line there. And that's going to put him 5th at the moment.
It is going to put him 5th at the moment. Greg Evans is on the track. We'll jump on board with him. Evans is working lap number 2, or excuse me, lap number 1. His first lap did not count. It's showing him with 1 lap on the board. So here comes Evans off of turn number 4. 29.980. He's got one more. This track was flipped in a repave in the mid-90s. So the famous Days of Thunder line where they talk about turn number 4, that's actually the exit of turn number 2 here. That's the one that gets more progressively narrow as you exit. And it is very, very tricky because that's also the fast end of the Speedway, Caleb.
Yeah, it is. It catches you off guard a lot of the time. It jolts out from the wall. You know, the corner itself feels very, very progressive to where it kind of follows a nice little groove, and then all of a sudden, bam! It just juts out all of a sudden, going onto the back straightaway here at Darlington. So it's definitely something that you have to keep in mind. You can't just be on the throttle the entire way around and just hold the bottom, because that wall will come up quick on you if you're not careful.
Yeah, Will, you get a sense of how close Justin Osterman's operating to that wall. It is throwback week here in the AMA, Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series, and Justin Osterman is looking to see if he can't get that Jimmy Spencer Smokin' Joe's inspired machine up there. Here's Justin Osterman. He'll come across the line, and Justin Osterman comes across. He will go to 12th quick. Next up, let's have a look at Sergio Abella. There's Sergio. I do have one thing, and I appreciate everybody's patience for the 4th wall break there. I did have one thing that I forgot to pull up, Caleb. Shame on me, right?
How could you, Murph? But Sergio Abella come across the start-finish line to complete his first lap. Goes 17 quick, and he's actually going to lose it going through turn number 1. So that will be his fast lap, is that first lap.
Yeah, it's going to be the first one. And with 20 seconds left in qualifying, there are 9 cars that have elected to not take time. So this is, Caleb, going to be our starting grid here as we see Sergio Abella, and he's not going to get back out onto the Speedway. Qualifying will end here at Darlington in the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series, and we will go to a starting grid. With the Simshop Pole Award, just keep driving. www.simshop.com. It is Ryan O'Donoghue, 157.3003 miles an hour. He'll be flanked by teammate Greg Evans. Row 2, Joshua Siegfried and James Hodgson. Riley Lean, Christian Light. They're going to go from row 3. Kendall Paul, Sam Crow, row 4. Justin Osterman, Mr. Excitement, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes. In the Robert Turnbull Special, They'll go from 9th and 10th. In 11th, it is Trevor Ryan in the 45. He'll have TJ Wood to his outside. Lee Campbell, John Hutchins will start 13th and 14th. Crash Neon, Troy Carricker, 15th and 16th. Andrew Jones and Sergio Abella, 18th, 17th, and 18th. Brian Sharp and Luke Reed, they're going to round out your top 20 this evening. At 21st, Michael Kirk, and the final car to take time, Donald Green. Behind him, these cars did not take time in the qualifying session. Peyton Howell, David Dunwoody, Alan Steigerwalt, Ted Craven, Chad Meadows, Christopher Logan, Eric Corder, Randy Dunlap, and Barry Seaman will all start lined up according to iRating. And Caleb, that is your starting grid. We get ready for 134 laps. Here at the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, and these guys are getting ready to get to it.
They are indeed, and there were a lot of big players that chose not to qualify. Peyton Howell being the biggest one. He's going to line up in 23rd, as you said. Peyton Howell usually qualifying on pole position or at least on the front row at these races. So this is good. This is a unique position. We really haven't seen him before. David Dunwoody, another strong contender. Teddy Craven as well. Randy Dunlap, all starting at the back of the field, and they have a very good shot to move their way up towards the front here, Murph.
You know, they most certainly do. Eric Anderson says he hasn't driven these cars at Darlington that he can remember. It should be a handful. Trust us, it's going to be a handful. There are very few things as difficult as driving one of these cars at Darlington on old tires, Caleb. It just, there's not really anything you can say for it. Any way to explain it until you do it. But we'll try to show some onboards, guys sawing on the wheel, especially coming off a turn 2 and 4. You're going to see guys struggling to get off of turn 2, and you're going to see cars in the wall a lot in turns 3 and 4. Just the nature of the track kind of dictates that you're going to see that. The field behind the Ford Mustang pace car, Ryan O'Donohue, is going to lead them off of turn number 4. Barney has the green flag in hand. And Caleb, we're ready for 200 miles at Darlington.
Green, green, green.
Green is out, and away we go. And already we've got cars around in the back. We've already got cars around in the back. There is no caution. It's Randy Dunlap and Donald Green have spun at the start of the race. No caution. Randy Dunlap, severe damage to the engine of that car. Let's see what we can see here in the back. We're looking at Donald Green. He spun the tires up on the start. Randy Dunlap gets pushed by Chad Meadows and into Donald Green he goes, and I believe the engine is already gone south on the Randy Dunlap machine. Meanwhile, up at the front, Ryan O'Donohue has the lead over Greg Evans. Joshua Siegfried is third, and already the field is starting to stretch out, Caleb.
Yeah, we kind of missed stretching out a little bit, but due to that early wreck, and one of the slow cars actually just missed pit lane there. I wasn't able to catch which one of them that was, but Ryan O'Donohue Bell has a 3 to 4 car length advantage over Greg Evans. Then it's Joshua Siegfried, James Hodgson, Christian Light. Is your top 5 at the moment, and you can already see they're getting very, very close to that turn 2 wall, and the rest of the walls around here at Darlington, they're already showing signs of wear already.
James Hodgson collects the first Darlington stripe of the afternoon or of the evening. He glanced off the exit of turn number. He glanced off the wall at the exit of turn number 4. He pancakes the right side of the forward-facing 88, and around goes Christian Light into the 4 spot. And James Hodgson, he might have knocked that car out of alignment because Sam Crow is already at the back door of James Hodgson will jump on board Sam Crow in the Ralph Earnhardt throwback. And here's Sam as he works to the rear of James Hodgson. Do want to just let everybody know the weather this evening at Darlington. 77 in the air, 85 on the track. Breath of wind out of the south. Not a cloud in the sky. It's a perfect day to run a motor race in virtual South Carolina. Go ahead, Caleb.
Justin Osman just got our second Darlington stripe. It actually hit it really, really hard there, to the point where he might have some suspension damage. He's already up 2 positions. He's currently in 7th, but he gets a second Darlington stripe of the night. So we'll see if he's able to. If his car's all right, he did hit the wall pretty hard there.
Yeah, we just went back and caught it on the replay. Justin Osterman smacks the outside wall, and Osterman is already got that car very sideways. Let's jump back on board with him just so the fans at home can see the hands inside of that number 53 machine. Look at the opposite lot, Caleb, as he comes off the corner. Justin Osterman already starting to feel the effects. We got a car on the wall. It's Donald Green up ahead. Donald Green is in the wall ahead of the leaders. He's going to get it again.
That is not what you want to see here, especially with lap traffic not only getting in the way, but sometimes, holding you up, and you just kind of have to navigate your way around them. And that's, we talk about that all the time with lap traffic when you come up on them and you have to navigate around them, and usually that sometimes plays out to race decisions. How drivers are able to navigate this lap traffic, as now the entire field is going to get around.
He's going to get it again. He's in the crash neon. Caution is going to be on the Speedway. Donald Green now, he gets hard contact with the 60 of Lee Campbell. John Hutchins is involved. Caution is on the Speedway at Darlington. 8 laps of 147 complete. And Donald Green, poor Donald, he's trying to stay out of the way and stay up against the wall here. He's going to glance off of it, and there's just nowhere for Crash Neon to go. You see the 26 slip through. That's Riley Lean going by on the inside. And then poor Crash Neon, Donald Green bounces off the wall and in the Neon. Everybody behind them takes evasive action as they slide down the track, and then nowhere to go for the number 60 of Lee Campbell, and he is already going to be out of this race. And we're going to take a ride with Lee Campbell here and see what he sees. And there's not really much he can see. He sees the cars get sideways in the middle of the track. He's going to follow Troy Carricker, and there appears Donald Green and then Crash Neon, and really nowhere he can go. He's going to get hit from behind just to add insult to injury there. That's John Hutchins. We'll get on board with John Hutchins as well, because he's going to have an interesting view of this whole thing. He about had it missed, Caleb.
Yes, he did indeed. Just one of those unfortunate circumstances. Every single time, on an oval, when a caution comes out, sometimes there's just, you just get the luck of the draw, and sometimes you just, can't really do anything about it. And that's just one of those situations where no matter how hard you hit the brakes and how much you try to avoid the wrecked cars in front of you, there's just sometimes nothing you can do there, and that's what we saw there.
No, there isn't. So caution is on the Speedway. Chad Meadows on back have come to the pit lane. Those cars electing to get tires. John Hutchins, Crash Neon, Luke Reed, Donald Green, Randy Dunlap, they are all on pit lane affecting repair. Lee Campbell has punched out of the number 60 machine. He is going to retire, and he will be credited right now with 28th place. We think Randy Dunlap has a blown engine from his contact earlier, but sometimes you can get that fixed depending on what exactly the damage is. Sometimes you get that fixed, and if Dunlap can get it fixed and get back out there, he can make up at least one spot. Donald Green would also be severely damaged, so it's possible he might be able to make up a couple. And in a championship battle, Caleb, every position counts. So we'll see if Randy Dunlap returns to the fray. Ryan O'Donohue and Greg Evans are going to be your leaders here as the pace car leads them around to get the restart to come to get lap 12. It's interesting to know the famous that grandstand off to your left. This is the old front stretch, and that grandstand used to be covered, Caleb, and that's the famous covered grandstand where you saw people throwing their hats in the air when Bill Elliott won the Winston Million here. That happened right there, not where the start-finish line is now.
Did not know that, Murph, but we're going to go green here again. Donald Green officially retiring from the race as he exits the session. Ryan O'Donoghue's going to lead him off. Green flag is back out here at Darlington.
Barney throws the green flag back in the air. The field this time safely navigates under the flag stand, and we go off into turns 1 and 2. Here is the field as they string through. Everybody minds their P's and Q's. Into the wall goes Christian Light as he makes the move around Joshua Siegfried for third. They're 3 wide behind him, though. Oh, boy, this makes me nervous. That's Hey Lewis Hayes in the middle. Riley Lean on the top. They get sorted out as they come through turns 1 and 2. That is not where you want to be 3 wide here, Caleb.
Well, they often say Darlington only has a groove and a half of racing, and sometimes you're able to get a clean 2 wide, let alone a 3 wide situation. But thankfully, everybody made it through there all right. We already see Peyton Howell, one of those drivers that went 3 wide. He looks like he's going to get another position there. He's already up 13 places at the moment. That he sits currently in the 10th spot, actually. So he's actually in the top 10 already in the first 15 laps here, Murph.
Yeah, the graphical update. Peyton Howell started 23rd. He is currently 10th, and he is looking at the back of Riley Lean, and that is his teammate. So, but he's looking at the back of Riley Lean for the 9th spot. Riley Lean in the SiriusXM machine. Team Icon on the hood for Peyton Howell, and he is coming to the front and coming in a hurry. Speaking of the front, Ryan O'Donoghue and Greg Evans lead it, and they've pulled a bit of a gap over Christian Light in 3rd, Joshua Siegfried 4th, and Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, he's a little bit further back. There are 2 pairs in the front. Osterman leads the peloton, so to speak. He is in 5th, and he's got company from the forward-facing 88 of James Hodgson in 6th, Sam Crow behind them, and then it is the Peyton Howell show. He has just disposed of Riley Lean. He's going to look to the inside of Kendall Paul, come down the front straightaway, Caleb.
Peyton out on an absolute charge. Now, you got to think here, Murph. We talked about tires and how much they wear at Darlington. It's just a characteristic of this track. How is he going to be at the end of this first stage here? How are those tires going to be? Is he going to have massive fall off because of how much he's been having to navigate through this field?
Well, tire wear here is very much dependent on, 1, how much you turn the wheel, and 2, where you get back in the gas and how hard you do stand on it when you get back in it. Peyton Howell, let's ride on board and see how he's treating the tires on that number 52 Toyota Camry. See how pretty the wheel is, Caleb? He is not working the wheel nearly as hard as, say, Justin Osterman was behind him.
No, he is not. He's using the brake and throttle to really turn the car, not using really any steering input at all. And that's typically how you drive these stock cars in these big speedways, and sometimes even the short tracks. You want to use as much brake and throttle to make the car turn as much as possible. That saves the tires the best, and that way you can have the long run paces. We see a car on the bottom there. I wasn't able to catch who that was.
It was Michael Kirk who had spun to the bottom. He spun by himself, and let's see what has happened to the number 54 machine. Michael Kirk, it looks like he was on the apron. He tried to get back on the racing surface, and the number 54 machine just came around on him because he stops off the racing surface. The racing surface is really only the top 3 seams here. So because he's off the racing surface there, no caution is going to come out but Ryan O'Donohue had to have had a slight heart attack, Caleb, when he came off at turn number 2 or turn number 4, excuse me. No, he came off turn number 2. It was 2. He comes off at 2 and sees a car stopped broadside on the bottom in the backstretch.
Yeah, obviously that's not something you ever want to see in an oval. As a car just stopped on the racing line there, but he currently is still leading this race. Greg Evans right behind him, and they pulled a massive gap over the third place battle that's going on right behind, and that is the third and fourth place battle that's kind of separated. And back to fifth, you see Justin Osterman and
Peyton Howell!
Peyton Howell as well! He's around!
Hard into the wall, Peyton Howell. Justin Osterman got into the exit of Justin Osterman got into the wall at the exit of turn number 2, bounced down and clipped Peyton Howell. You saw it right here on P1. Peyton Howell spins, hits the inside wall. Caution is on the Speedway for the second time this evening. Cautions, of course, in the AMA are brought to you by Admin Box, race control at the touch of a button. And you can, if you're a league owner, administrator, you run hosted sessions, or you do admin work in iRacing, hit them up. That's adminbox with 2x's.com. Peyton Howell racing hard for the 5th spot with Justin Osterman. Mr. Excitement bounces off the wall and around goes Peyton Howell, and Howell paid the price. Watch this. There's the wall and just bounces off, and poor Peyton Howell is right there, and around he goes. Fortunately for the rest of the field, just a single car, Caleb, but not really much Peyton Howell can do there.
No, looking on the onboard, he actually got hit from behind from the 88 there, James Hodgson. There was a little bit of a checkup with Osterman getting into the wall. Peyton Howell had to check up just a little bit, and Hodgson couldn't get slowed down in time. So he actually got spun off of 2 there. As you can see,
there's the double.
A little bit of contact.
Yeah, there's the double whammy, the left rear to the right front, and then the front to rear. Peyton Howell goes around, and that is not how he wanted to spend a lap 23 in the second stage. Do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. You are watching the Outland Custom Arms AMA Grand National Series. At Outland Custom Arms, their mission is to provide hunters and outdoor sportsmen with precision-crafted firearms rooted in Oregon's rugged legacy. Every build is hand-tuned for performance, reliability, and the uncompromising pursuit of the perfect shot. That is Outland Custom Arms, the presenting sponsor of the Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. Caleb, we'll be back here tomorrow night. You're going to get the night off. We're going to have, I'm going to be joined by a newcomer to P1, Johnny Rico, tomorrow. We'll be right back here, same time, same bad channel, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series race here at Darlington. And as Eric pointed out, the trucks are a lot different here, Caleb. For one thing, they're a little bit slower. They've got a much bigger greenhouse, so they're a little bit draggier, and they don't have as much power. And so they don't burn the tires off at the same rate. They still cook them, but they don't cook nearly as quickly. And the racing tends to be a little bit different in the truck. There are 2 grooves in a truck, and so usually the truck races are a little bit more of a side-by-side duel than the Grand National cars. Mike Rigney checks in. He says he hates that he missed it. Stayed out working in the garden too long. I hope you wore your hat, Mike. Starting to get warm out there.
Starting to get warm. It was snowing for me today. What are you talking about, Murph?
Hey, it was warm here. It was almost 70 degrees, Caleb.
Lucky man. But can't focus on the weather right now. We got to focus on this restart. Ryan O'Donohue gets a good restart over Greg Evans.
Whoa, we've got cars around in the back, and it's Peyton Howell again. Cars all over the place at the restart. Peyton Howell was involved one more time, and we've got to get back and see what's happened to Peyton Howell because he had just got that Supra fixed in the pit lane. And here he comes. He comes to get the restart, and Crash Neon, it appears as though Crash Neon and Teddy Craven got together, and poor Peyton Howell had nowhere to go. Multiple cars check up on the inside, but Peyton Howell, no sooner than he gets that 52 fixed, he's already got damage to the nose one more time, and he's in the hole again, Caleb.
Just another setback, and unfortunately that's what happened last race as well with the strategy call at Vegas. This time it's him really early on, but we've seen him do it once already in this race, go from the back to fighting in the top 5, and we probably won't see it for the last time here. He'll probably go make his way up through the field once again here, Murph.
Speaking of making a way through the field, one car that's making its way through the field the wrong way, Christian Light. He had been as high as 3rd in this race, and Christian Light has fallen all the way back to the 10th spot, and he is under fire from Kendall Paul, Trevor Ryan, Andrew Jones. He is being passed in wholesale fashion, Christian Light, and you got to wonder if he got in the wall a little bit and took some damage, because that car is not up to full song, and there he is in the wall again, and around they go behind him. The 46 Troy Carricker is around, Andrew Jones is around. Trevor Ryan also involved. They're going to get everything moving back in the right direction. No caution, but it's another one of those hit wall exit turn 2 around go race cars, Caleb.
Another Darlington stripe, or actually a couple Darlington stripes added to the collection there. So it's just a characteristic that we've always seen coming off turn 2 at Darlington. It won't be the last time we'll see you here tonight. I guarantee that.
It won't. Watch this on board David Dunwoody as he navigates the Gray Ghost through this incident. Dunwoody appears to have come through unscathed. Maybe a little contact with the 46 of Andrew Jones, but nothing serious for Dunwoody, and he'll continue along in the 15th spot. Meanwhile, Riley Lean has caught Joshua Siegfried more or less, but that is not the best battle on the track. Best battle on the track is Sam Crow. He has now caught James Hodgson in the forward-facing 88. They'll do battle. Meanwhile, we mentioned Dunwoody having been in 15th spot. He's now 12th. So he passed 3 cars in the last lap. We'll keep an eye on Dunwoody. But Sam Crow is one of those, I call him laconic, Caleb. He's very patient, very careful with his car and his equipment. And that'll pay off here at Darlington over the long run. He gets underneath James Hodgson, and he'll move into that 6th spot. Easy does it. TJ Wood is going to try to follow Sam through, and he will do so. Meanwhile, David Dunwoody is the man on the move. He's got the Gray Ghost, Caleb, up 12 spots. He started 24th. He is 12th, and he is running down Troy Carricker. The last time through, Dunwoody was 0.3 faster than Troy Carricker. He is coming.
Yes, he is. We'll see how the lap times are this time around. Troy Carricker actually went faster, and yellow flag is out.
Caution, it's Ted Craven and Michael Kirk. Michael Kirk and Ted Craven are around. Caution is out at Darlington one more time, working at lap 33. And here's what we got. Michael Kirk in the 54 Cookout machine in front of Ted Craven. Car wall bad. Craven comes off the corner, and Kirk guides his machine down to the bottom, and I think poor Ted Craven, he's trying to stay off of him, but the more he tries to stay off of him, the more he runs into him there. It was an interesting sequence of events to bring out that caution. Both of those cars will take some damage, and this time they stop on the racing surface, so caution is going to be on the Darlington Speedway. Cautions in the AMA brought to you by Admin Box. If you're a race controller you run hosted sessions, you run a league, you need an admin box. It's race control at the touch of a button. www.adminbox.com. Fish will hook you up with a custom button box for iRacing race control. We're going to see a split decision here on pit lane because O'Donoghue and Evans stay out. Joshua Siegfried is going to come to pit lane, and unfortunately for Siegfried, nobody came with him, Caleb.
There are a couple cars in the back that came. One of those is Peyton Howe coming down pit lane, possibly get some damage repaired, and that's possibly probably what everybody else behind him is doing.
Yeah.
So it could just be a situation where they're all just going to get damage or some fuel topped up here. So we'll see how it works out.
Damage repaired, fuel topped up. If you fuel up now, you won't have to stop. You won't have to get gas when you stop for the stage break. I don't think that that's the motivation for those cars back in the back. I think you're more correct with repairing damage. Peyton Howell 24 seconds in the box. Luke Reed 12 seconds, so he just took tires. Same with Christopher Logan and Joshua Siegfried. But some of those cars are under a lengthy repair. Chad Meadows, Andrew Jones, Christian Light, they're all fixing damage. They're not coming for tires, and I would surmise they're probably not even taking tires, Caleb.
It's way too early to be taking tires here at Darlington. We know we're going to have another 2-stage cautions, and you know how important the tires are around here. So I think the strategy is to save as many tire sets as you can for the end of this race here.
Yeah, I mean, if I was on the track, I would most certainly not be taking tires. Unless it was a stage break, just simply because, Caleb, there's going to be a caution at some point, a caution or two at some point in that last stage. And you're going to want to be able to come in and bolt on a set of four. You're going to want to be able to come in and bolt on for Mr. Feelgoods. And if you've already burned them up early in this race, you're not going to have a chance to do that. So I don't think we'll see any of the front runners come in except for the stage break. The lights are out on the pace car, Caleb, and that means we're going to get in the Mike Rigney seat to see the restart. Barney's got the green flag in hand. Ryan O'Donoghue's going to lead him across the line. And all the practice that O'Donoghue, Evans, Crow, and Hayes put in is paying off. They are 1, 2, 5, and 7 for that DVD Motorsports team. And away they file one more time into turn number 1. Justin Osterman looking to the high side of Riley Lean. Can't get that move done. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is the ping pong ball in the middle, and we got to get back and watch that. Cars in the wall coming off of turn number 2 one more time. Lewis Hayes, he went from 7th to 10th on that restart. And how about David Dunwoody? He's moved up to 9th, Caleb.
David Dunwoody on a charge, and he's been one of the drivers that has kept it clean so far. Don't knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't commentate or curse him with that. But he's on a charge inside the top 10. Start 24th.
Riley Lean into the wall. Justin Osterman gets tagged. Osterman all the way down to the bottom, and Sam Crow will cut Justin Osterman a break and let Mr. Excitement get back in line. I was about to say Osterman was going to go under. It looked like he had a run underneath Riley Lean. He got alongside of him. Lean tags the outside of the turn 2 fence. And poor Justin Osterman was kind of the innocent bystander there. They all save it and get it moving back in the right direction. All that does is, whoa, we've got cars spinning toward the inside. That's Joshua Siegfried. He saves it. Watch these hands, Caleb. Watch this. He's on fresh tires. He's trying to come to the front. That's Troy Carricker in the Mac Attack. Bill Elliott throwback machine in front of him. Watch the hands here, fans. Watch this. He's going to come off. He and John Hutchins are going to get together right there. And That is a save, Caleb.
Yeah, it is. He's kind of had a rough night already. But a massive save possibly kept him in this race, as now he's looking up the inside of Peyton Howe here, going down the front stretch. They're going to go into turn number 1 side by side, and he clears Peyton Howe. I wonder if Peyton Howe is just trying to play very safe here for the rest of the run, as he actually gets into the wall there, as I said.
Whoa! Cars all over the place one more time.
And caution is out.
Caution is out. Crash Neon spins to the inside. Off of turn number 2. One more time, Eric Anderson. The wall is being pounded. That time, it appears to have been TJ Wood, and unfortunately, Crash Neon is the car that got kicked out. You see Wood in the 64. He's already up high in the wall. He's alongside, say, Hey Lewis Hayes. He's going to tag the wall coming off of turn number 2, down into Hayes. Troy Carricker, kind of almost a carbon copy of one of the prior incidents. Car outside tags wall. Car on bottom lifts. Car behind car on bottom runs in the back of car on bottom. Around car on bottom goes, Caleb.
Yeah, that was very, very similar to the incident with Peyton Howe. Peyton Howe's first incident of the day. So we've had a very chaotic race so far, and at this point, it could be anybody's race still at this point with how many incidents we've gotten very early on. And I believe this should take us to the end of the stage here.
It should. Typically, if you're within 5 laps of the stage break in the AMA, they will extend the caution to the stage break. The pits would be closed under this, and so anybody who does choose to dive to the pit lane, you can do it, but you're going to get penalized tail end of the longest line. And there are cars that are on pit lane. Andrew Jones, Brian Sharp, Luke Reed, Chad Meadows have all elected to come to the pit lane. They're going to use this to repair damage. They don't care if they're going to go to the back of the line. But it appears as though Track Racer Stage 1 is going to be won by Ryan O'Donohue. If you go to trackracer.com and you use the promo code that I have put in the chat, just as it shows, you enter the web address like that, 5% of any order from Track Racer will go to the AMA prize pool at the end of the season. And so go get some gear from trackracer.com, put in the promo code and support the AMA end of the year prize pool. Do want to thank all of the sponsors here in the AMA, of course, Outland Custom Arms, also Archway Industrial Coatings, Admin Box, Black Magic Studios, Rogue Energy, Track Racer. We do want to thank all of them for their assistance, and we want to thank everybody in the crowd this evening. It's another good one, Caleb. We just hit 500 views on the race, and so thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We are back to a full slate now, Caleb. We are back to a full slate now after the week 13 down period. We're gonna have the Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series tomorrow night, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start. You're gonna have the Votive IndyCar Series on Sunday night. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday at 2 o'clock. It is the iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear. Monday, the doubleheader starting at 8 o'clock with the IndyCar Open Series Top Split, followed by the Indy Next Road Series Top Split. Tuesday, it'll be a triple header starting at 8:15 with the IndyCar Oval Series Top Split. You'll have the Indy Next Oval Top Split in the middle, and then at 9:30, Area 51 is your nightcap. They're going to go from the Daytona Roval for their road race this year. That'll be fun, Caleb.
Yes, it will indeed.
Little Daytona Roval action in an IndyCar. Wednesday, you've got the Horizon IndyCar Series at 8, the Formula Super Series at 8:20, and that'll bring us right back here for the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series next week. 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start for us here in the AMA. The stage will be ending with this lap, and the next time around, Caleb, we're going to get the next time around we will get we'll get pit stops. I would assume that everybody is going to hit pit lane here.
I assume so, unless people want to try and gamble and just have a little bit of fresher tires and see if a caution will come out in this stage number 2. Now, I wouldn't count it completely out, but I reckon I'd say most of the field will come down for tires, even if they probably know that a caution will come out very, very shortly. Or perhaps not, and it'll be a gamble that didn't work for them, but we shall see here, Murph.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You know, you're gonna have somebody that stays out and says, "Look, I know I'm gonna be slow, but if there's a caution 10 laps into the stage, why not? Right? Why not? Maybe, you know, is somebody going to do gas only and not take tires? We don't know that, right? We have no way of knowing who changes tires and who doesn't. But is somebody going to gamble just to see if they can save an extra set of tires for that final stage? Ryan O'Donoghue is going to lead him down pit road, and at least right now, it appears as though everybody is going to come get him 4 new tires. There you go.
There's one car that stays out. That is Andrew Jones staying out.
Well, now he's one of those that's been pitting under the caution flag. So this may be a situation where he knows he may have to go to the tail end of the longest line anyway. So why not stay out if he's got additional damage? Just so he can get maximum time in the pit lane. Everybody getting 4 tires. 99 of Joshua Siegfried is out. Evans, O'Donoghue, Riley Lean, and, well, here comes the party off of pit lane. 3 wide with Carricker, Peyton Howell, and Christian Light there. David Dunwoody checks in the chat. He says he's sick as a dog. So, you know, he's hoping he can just make it. I'll tell you what, though, Caleb, if he's not feeling well, running a race car at Darlington and running as well as he's going, it's a pretty good cure.
Sometimes sim racing does that every once in a while. I remember a specific situation with me where I wasn't sick, but I was very, very sunburnt coming from a mid-Ohio race one time, and I did an IAS race, and I ended up getting my first IAS podium. So sometimes sim racing is the cure for whether it be being sunburned or just being sick in general. Sometimes it just
right,
sometimes
man.
it just works.
Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
And there's a wreck under caution. Ted Craven has hit the turn 1 wall.
And he is already back in the pit lane. And let's see what we've got going here. He's up against the wall on the front straightaway. I wonder if Ted Craven had some kind of an equipment failure here, because that car just does not want to turn left. And finally, he hits the wall and spins out under caution. And that almost looks like some sort of a failure there, Caleb. Not necessarily him being absent-minded. Joshua Siegfried is going to have the lead here from Greg Evans, Ryan O'Donoghue. It is as I had thought. Andrew Jones went back to the pit lane to fix additional damage, and so he went back to the tail end of the lead lap. We are going to go back to green on lap 50, and it is with lap 50 that we'll kind bring the people in the stands and the fans in the stands in on the lap 51 tribute. Recently, Area 51, which is an IndyCar league that's shown on P1. It's a league that I've been a part of for quite a bit of time as a driver. I've been honored to be a champion of that league. Jim Brooks, who was one of the founding members of Area 51, recently passed away. And so it is in Jim's honor that we will remain silent for lap 51. So when the race restarts, we're going to put the Area 51 logo up and take a minute to remember Jim and his contributions to iRacing, a friend to all, an enemy of none, a really, really awesome guy, Jim Brooks, and we'll remember him. On lap 51, we come to the restart. On lap 50, Joshua Siegfried, Greg Evans, Ryan O'Donohue, Riley Lean, and Sam Crow, your top five. Sam Crow nearly goes around. He is all the way down on the apron, and now Greg Evans is spinning. Ryan O'Donohue's involved. Caution. Big wreck at the front of the field. As we come to get lap 51. Well, Caleb, we were looking at the replays of that incident, and my goodness, that was interesting indeed. The lady in black in a mood. Contenders Joshua Siegfried, James Hodgson, Greg Evans, and Peyton Howell one more time are involved in a 4-car accident. I thought Ryan O'Donohue was one of those cars, but I mistook O'Donohue for Siegfried. Both of those cars white with blue and black trim. Riley Lean gets through, so too Justin Osterman. Peyton Howell is still on the racing surface, but hard contact for Greg Evans, James Hodgson, and others as a part of that caution. And we're going to see Luke Reed and James Hodgson both come down pit lane. They both have black flags. It appeared as though Sam Crow had gotten kind of kicked out of line on that restart. And so that was the reason for him being down on the apron. He saved it in the yellow. A blessing for Sam Crow. He's able to get back in line, cool off the tires, and he won't lose that much time. And Eric, you're right. The lady in black is in a mood. Hodgson and Reed both serving penalties on pit road. Ryan O'Donohue will have the lead. We are down to 22 cars on the racing surface. Everybody from Ted Craven on back is out of the race. Joshua Siegfried is on pit road under repair. TJ Wood has spent significant time under repair. James Hodgson and Luke Reed are on pit road currently. There's going to be a lot of cars. There are a lot of cars out of this race already as we get ready to finally, maybe, kind of, sort of start stage 2, Caleb.
Green flag, green flag.
green flag is away here, and Ryan O'Donohue gets a very, very good jump, but so does Peyton Howe. Justin Osman is going to fall back to fourth off the start here. Peyton Howe kind of shoving Riley Lean on the high side there, coming off turn 2 there. But Justin Osman is actually able to get the cutback on Peyton Howe. He looks like he's going to fight back going into turn 3. Peyton Howe gets a little bit of the bumper. And is able to clear Justin Osman going into turn number 3 and coming out turn number 4.
Even with the damage, and even though he's been around at least twice in this race, Peyton Howe has fought his way back up to the 3rd spot. He'll set sail on Riley Lean in the 26. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Donohue, without the friendly of Greg Evans behind him, now faces those 2 stout Toyotas in Riley Lean and Peyton Howe and Justin Osterman 4th. And give a call down to Troy Carricker in the nighttime Mac attack. The Bill Elliott throwback for Troy Carricker. He's got that car up in 5th spot. He's kept it clean, and he's going to start to work over Justin Osterman. Behind him is Kendall Paul in the 78 Outland Custom Arms, AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Ford Mustang, and Peyton and Kendall Paul is another one of those. He's just kind of kept it clean. He's rolling around here. He's in the 6th spot. Those two are going to go to work on Justin Osterman, and Osterman has got to be careful not to burn the tires off of that 53, because Kendall Paul and Troy Carricker are both very, very adept at saving their stuff. I would have to agree with Eric Evans in the chat. Somebody is going to have to pressure Ryan O'Donohue. Otherwise, O'Donohue is just going to be able to run where he is, basically pace himself to be a half a second ahead of Riley Lean and Peyton Howe, and he's just going to be able to drive away. This is the best battle on the track. It is for the 4th spot. Troy Carricker still working on the back of Justin Osterman.
This is the closest Troy Carricker. He started in 16th, now in the top 5. This is the closest he's been to Justin Osterman since the restart. He gets really, really up high. He's going to cut it down low off the exit of turn 4. He's going to have a really good run coming down the front stretch. We'll see if he's able to make anything of it. He looks up the inside going into turn number 1.
You would think that's the preferred line, but it's really not. The preferred line through turns 1 and 2 is up against the wall, and then you late apex it, get down to the bottom coming off the corner. Being on the bottom is not necessarily the place to be right there. It is not the fastest way around the course. You've got to cut it pretty hard there. Being on the outside is not where you want to be in turns 3 and 4, because the wall will jump out and bite you. And we've seen that on several occasions. Carricker working to the bottom of Osterman one more time. Remember, these two have a history that goes back to last season here. Kendall Paul is the interested party as Carricker pounds the exit of the turn 2, of the turn 2 wall.
Another Darlington stripe added to the collection here, Murph. Another Darlington stripe, and that allows Kendall Paul to get a position over Troy Carricker.
It does.
Kendall Paul slots into the top 5 here.
He does. Carricker into the wall. He got really loose coming off of turn number 2 that time. And it's Sergio Abella that cuts Troy Carricker the break and lets him back in line. You know where the term Darlington stripe comes from, Caleb?
I feel like I know it. It's something to do with the 50s, but I could be incorrect on that.
Well, it does come
It wasn't the track like completely paved in black, and that's what they called it, or is?
Well, the asphalt here is dark black, and that's or used to be when it was originally paved dark black. It's been sun bleached white, and it's got a lot of the local aggregate in it. But the reason that that's why they call it the Lady in Black. The reason that they call it the Darlington stripe is the track originally had highway-style guardrails. Kendall Paul and Justin Osterman contact.
That was very, very close between the two, and that's going to allow Troy Carricker to gain back up in the battle for this top 4 position. He sends it really deep into turn 1, gets a little loose in the middle there. Kendall Paul on the outside, Justin Osterman looking on the inside. They bump coming off turn 2, and Justin Osterman is able to get the position for now as they go through turn number 3, and a big contact behind them.
Yeah, Sergio
Troy Carricker
Abella
in
and
the
Troy
wall.
Carricker. Carricker comes off second best. He collects another one of those Darlington stripes, and he's going to go from 6th all the way back to 12th. Christian Light goes to his inside. Sam Crow is 13th, and I get the feeling Sam is just trying to weave his way through the traffic here and save that number 8 Chevrolet. He'll get underneath Carricker. Next up would be Andrew Jones on Carricker. There's Jones. He'll go to the inside, and he'll make the pass as well. So in 2 laps, Troy Carricker went from 5th to 14th. Meanwhile, Osterman and Kendall Paul continue to do battle. As I was saying, the term Darlington Stripe comes from the fact that this track originally, Caleb, had steel highway-style guardrails around it. It was not concrete walls. It was steel guardrails. And so back in the day, the fastest line was actually, especially through this end of the track, through the open end of the track, the big end of the egg, was to let the car drift up at the apex right about there and actually let the car lay on the wall and kind of treat it like a game of carom pool, where they would use the wall to help them turn, and the cars would come back to the garage area, and they where the paint was worn away was a Darlington stripe. So a Darlington stripe actually originally was a sign of speed, Caleb, and now it's a sign that you too have hit the wall at Darlington.
Just some minor aero development there when you hit that wall. We'll say that's what's happening every time you see a Darlington stripe, but this battle for 4th has been it's stagnated a little bit, but they haven't gained or lost any time to each other between Kendall Paul, Justin Osterman, and now Greg Evans. He's made his way back up towards the top 5 as he looks up the inside. Justin Osterman going into turn number 1 doesn't quite get the run there. He's going to get Osterman in the wall.
Yeah, he's going to get the run now because Justin Osterman wiggled through turns 1 and 2, and that's going to let Greg Evans draw alongside, and Evans has the preferred line through turns 3 and 4. He's got to be careful, though. Don't drift up into Osterman. Osterman keeps it off the wall. Evans should be able to complete the pass down this end of the speedway. Look at how unstable that number 53 is, just wiggling and dancing all over the racetrack. Yes, Eric, they were daredevils. There's another thing that was invented here. Evans loses the momentum, and that'll let Sergio Abella draw to the inside, but Evans will have the preferred line in turns 1 and 2, and that is the net, the safety net that is ubiquitous and is required now on the driver's side. Was invented due to Richard Petty's crash here in the mid-1960s. Richard Petty came off of turn number 4, spun the car to the inside, and if you watch the video of the crash, you can see poor Richard at certain points, part of his body out of the car. So that's why we have the safety net for the drivers, and that was because of an accident that took place here at Darlington. So yeah, those old guys were basically daredevils. We're watching the battle around Justin Osterman. Hutchins and Sergio Abella have gotten through. Crash Neon, Sam Crow, David Dunwoody, Troy Carricker, they've all rejoined the fight. Carricker gets around Dunwoody, but Justin Osterman has used up the good in the good years. Crash Neon now looking to get past, and Osterman is in a free fall through this field.
Yes, he is. He was 4th only 2 laps ago, and now he's just falling down the order, possibly suffering from a bit of tire wear. Obviously, that's quite big, and we mentioned it quite a few times about the tires around here and how they just don't last. You'll see often, a lot of times in real life, you'll see massive tire chunks and marbles on the high side of the racetrack. The biggest example was 2003. I remember when Craven and Kurt Busch were going at it at the end of that race, and you just saw the tire trunks at the high end of that wall there in turns 2 and 4. So tires tires are starting to wear here, Murph, and we're seeing the effects of it.
Yeah, we're going to jump on board Justin Osterman and just look at him work the wheel. Talk about hear him play with the throttle. Talk about tire wear. Down toward the bottom would be a lap car, but I believe that might have been TJ Wood. But just look at the cars here as they fight and hunt for grip. Sam Crow now works on Justin Osterman. Crow has gotten himself back into the top 10. Greg Evans back in the top 5. And don't look now, but Peyton Howell is slowly reeling in Ryan O'Donoghue. He's got the lead down to 0.4 of a second, and there's the lead. It's Howell on O'Donoghue, and O'Donoghue is catching lap traffic here.
Yes, he is. Last time around, the gap comes down slightly. It was half a second when they came across the line last time around. It's kind of stagnated around 0.4 for the past 7 or 8 laps there. As we see Ryan O'Donoghue tag the wall, get a Darlington stripe again. They go through turns 3 and 4, and now we get to see who is able to navigate lap traffic better. Ryan O'Donoghue currently at the point, so he has a little bit of a buffer. As we see the 70 go to the bottom, they're letting them by down the front straightaway.
He does, and Ryan O'Donoghue would have the advantage here because he's the leader. People are more apt to pull over and let the leader go, especially if you're already a lap down, like Joshua Siegfried is there. Christopher Logan is a part of that deal. They're already a lap down, so they may be. Whoa! Michael Kirk hits the wall, and Ryan O'Donoghue's involved.
Caution is out.
Hard contact. More contact in the back. I believe that might have been Riley Lean got into Michael Kirk as well. Caution is on the speedway. Michael Kirk collects the leader and third place in one fell swoop. He got into the wall. He bounces off the wall.
Riley Lean did make it through clean. That was not Riley Lean.
Okay, so let's see who the other car. It's the number 70 machine. That's Christopher Logan that tagged him. Whew, there's Lean going to the bottom. So 2 black cars. I couldn't tell from the angle which one it was, but there's the hit for Kirk, and we need to go back and check out Ryan O'Donoghue because this is going to be gut wrenching for O'Donoghue. Remember, he ran so well last week, got tagged and put in a mess of his own making. This time, Michael Kirk gets in the wall, bounces off, and you can tell, I mean, O'Donoghue had nowhere to go. I don't think he hit him that hard, Caleb. Let's take another look from a different, more up close camera angle. I don't. He might have a little bit of arrow on the right front, but I don't think that's anything that. I don't think that's anything that can't be fixed on the pit lane. The question is going to be, does he come to pit lane at 78 of 147, knowing he's only going to have about 10 laps to go for the stage, and also knowing Ryan O'Donoghue's in a points race. He is third in the points, but he's 69 markers behind Greg Evans. Evans is fifth, and so O'Donoghue would love to score a win in the stage, Caleb.
Yes, he would. He had a really good result in stage number 1. It's pretty much him and Greg Evans at the front of the field. Now Greg Evans has lost a few positions there due to that incident off turn 2 on the initial start of stage number 2. Obviously, Ryan O'Donoghue wanting to maximize as many points as possible. The contact didn't look that heavy, which of course doesn't exactly mean anything. Sometimes the lightest contact can have the biggest consequences, but doesn't look like it was the heaviest amount of it didn't look like it was the heaviest hit. So I think it's safe to say with only 10 laps to go, you could probably hang on for another 10 laps, even with just that little bit of damage, especially knowing, considering you've seen Peyton Howell. He's been in a number of incidents tonight, and he's still up at the front here. So yeah. I think it's a safe call to just stay out if you're Ryan O'Donoghue.
Yeah, I'm looking. We've shown several different angles of O'Donoghue. I don't see any marks, nicks, or dings in the front of that Chevrolet. It looks more or less there's a good shot head on to the front of it. It doesn't look like he took any damage. So anything that's there would be very, very minor. Do want to thank Admin Box for sponsoring Caution Flags in the AMA. If you're in need of a custom race control, a custom button box for race control, that's adminbox with 2x's.com. Hit up Fish. He'll get you fixed up. We're going to get back to the green flag here. We're going to have 10 laps to go to the stage. O'Donohue and Peyton Howell, row 1. Riley Ling, Kendall Paul, row 2. Greg Evans, John Hutchins make up row 3, and away we go. Ryan O'Donohue gets the jump, and now it's going to be a question of whether or not Riley Lean can get past Peyton Howell for second. He will not.
Peyton now holds on to second place a little bit further back. They were 3 wide a little bit going into the turn 1, but they go back to single file racing. And now Peyton Howell has a good run on our leader, Ryan O'Donohue. Ryan O'Donohue has been at the front the entire day. Let's see if Peyton Howell has anything for him with less than 10 to go in the stage.
The good news for Ryan O'Donohue, if there is any, that caution flag, even though he might have been involved a little bit with it, is that it gives the tires a chance to cool off, and they're going to be grippy for 4 or 5 laps just because they're cool. Whoa, we've got contact in the back. Dunwoody, Troy Carricker around, and there's a caution.
Caution is out.
David Dunwoody, Troy Carricker, Andrew Jones also gets a piece of that. Caution is out at Darlington one more time. We're under the admin box caution flag, and that's going to start with Troy Carricker up in the wall. He's going to come down and tag David Dunwoody. He was in it for a while. He gets off of it, tags it. There he is, hit from behind by Andrew Jones, knocked into the 28 of David Dunwoody. Around goes Jones, around goes Dunwoody, and it doesn't look like Dunwoody hit anything or got hit by anybody. But they are going to bring out the admin box caution one more time, and that is going to be great news for Ryan O'Donohue. Again, it gives a chance for the tires to cool off.
David Dunwoody I can't tell if he did hit Luke Reed, but it looks like he did hit Luke Reed.
I don't know if they made contact or not, Caleb. If they did, it was very slight.
Luke Reed's got damage. He did get hit.
So here we go. Dunwoody trying to catch the field. Yep, there's the contact, and you see the back end crumple on that number 20. So contact under caution here between David Dunwoody and Luke Reed. Dunwoody stays out. Luke Reed has gone to the pit lane. Reed was already 4 laps down, so do want to make that point. Dunwoody is not going to hit the pit lane. Ryan O'Donohue is going to be your leader. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun, and we've got a lot of it for you. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Same time, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 race start right here on P1. On Saturday, it's the iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear. They're going to go at 2 o'clock Eastern from the newly scanned St. Petersburg Street Course. Sunday, it's the Votive Indy Oval Series. They're going to go for their 5th round at the Chicagoland Speedway. That is at 8 o'clock Sunday night. Monday kicks off the doubleheader for the official series. It's the IndyCar Open Series. That'll go at 8, and then the Indy Next Road Series is at 10. On Tuesday, it's a triple header. The IndyCar Oval Series at 8:15. The Indy Next Oval Series at 9:30. And we round it out with the Area 51 IndyCar Series at the Daytona Road Course, also at 9:30. Wednesday, the Horizon IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear will start at 8. The Formula Super Series at 8:20. And that puts us right back here, Caleb, 1 week from today, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start for the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. from Martinsville as we continue to whittle this field away. 22 cars now running as Ted Craven and Trevor Ryan have now retired. And we're going to have a sprint race for the stage, Caleb. 6 laps to decide who will win stage 2. It's O'Donohue and Peyton Howell heads up one more time. Riley Lean and Greg Evans are on row 2. Excuse me.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out here at Darlington. Peyton Howell able to get a better start than he did last time. He's going to have the outside line go through turn 1. I think he's going to get the lead here. Yes, he does. He gets the lead here. We have a new leader here for quite a while. Peyton Howell able to get the lead going through turn number 1.
Ryan O'Donohue led pretty much the entire race before this one. 79 of 85, and he's in the turn number 4 wall. That's going to let teammate Greg Evans pull alongside him. Car spins to the inside, out of shape, saves it. That's Justin Osterman as Greg Evans goes through into second spot, and now Riley Lean says, I might like to have some of that. Riley Lean wants the third spot back as he'll go to work on Ryan O'Donohue now. Peyton Howell has sauntered off to about a 3/4 of a second lead over Evans and O'Donohue as we track in on the end of stage 2.
Greg Evans has been on an absolute charge. He's been patiently, ever since that incident after the first initial, or the first start of stage number 2, where he got in that incident. He restarted at the back of the field. Now he's back in second place, and he is one of the fastest cars on track the entire day. He was running second to Ryan O'Donohue the entirety of the first stage. So it looks like he is gaining a little bit on our leader, Peyton Howell, there.
Last time through, Peyton Howell 36.91, Greg Evans 36.47. So Greg Evans is fractionally catching Peyton Howell, but Greg Evans may run out of time here as he is 0.6 of a second back of the leader. He is coming, but he's going to have to make up time in a big hurry as we come to get lap 89 of 147. So 2 laps to go in the stage, and Peyton Howell is your leader, but he lost another 1/10 that time, Caleb. Greg Evans is coming.
Yeah, they were 7/10 at the line. Now it's only down to half a second when they came across the line there. Greg Evans is on an absolute charge. He might be able to get him if he's able to keep it nice and tidy for the last mile or last 2 miles ish.
Yeah, he got sideways coming off of turn number 2, and that hurt his momentum quite a bit. It's going to get under 0.4 of a second as we get to the line. Greg Evans tags the wall a little bit coming off of turn number 4. No harm, no foul. That does hurt the momentum, though. Only 0.005 of a second faster that time for Evans. It'll be Peyton Howell coming off of turn number 2 down the backstretch, and he's looking good for a win in stage number 2. Peyton Howell at the front. He'll come off of turn 3 and 4 down the front stretch here at Darlington. And once the 10th place car crosses the line, we will have the end of stage number 2. And there it is.
Caution is out.
Peyton Howell, your stage 2 winner. Stage 2 is brought to you by Black Magic Studios. They're a small operation dedicated to high-quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car that you can give them. Visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high-quality iRacing paint or wrap. I can personally vouch for them. When you see me on the track, it is in a Blackmagic Designs wrapped Dallara IR18. So, Caleb, we're going to see pit stops one more time. All of the leaders have been out for the duration of the second stage, with the exception of Joshua Siegfried. He's got 15 laps on his current set of tires. And you think Peyton Howell doesn't want some tires? He's already looking to get into the pit lane, Caleb.
I think all of these drivers are looking to get into pit lane as soon as possible. Now, this is going to be interesting, Murph. We're entering stage number 3. It is about 17 laps longer than the previous 2, or sorry, my math is off there. 12 laps longer than the previous 2 stages. So, but we do have an option of, we do have extra sets of tires here. I think everybody took a set on the first stage. I think we know that. Whether or not anybody else took a set of tires, with all these caution laps, we're looking at, completely different strategy possibly with how these guys take tires and when they take tires.
Well, we've got part of an answer. Sergio Abella, he's been out 10 laps now, some of those under caution, and Sergio Abella is going to stay out. Everybody else hits the pit road, and there's Sergio Abella. Give the man his due. He will stay out and become the leader here. And he's only got 2 or 3 green flag laps on those tires. The rest of them are under caution. So he'll be at a disadvantage, but it won't be a massive one. Everybody else that's on the track is a lap down. Peyton Howell will win the race off a pit lane, followed by Evans, O'Donohue, and Lean. Crash Neon, John Hutchins, Sam Crow, Kendall Paul, and Joshua Siegfried will make up the rest of your top 10. And there are several wounded cars on pit lane under repair, to include Brian Sharp, Chad Meadows, Say Hey Lewis Hayes, Andrew Jones. Those cars are on the lead lap but under repair. TJ Wood is 1 lap down. Hodgson 2 laps down. Christian Light 3 down. Luke Reed 4. Christopher Logan 6. And Michael Kirk 12 laps in arrears. And they're all going to go to the back of the field here once we start lining them up for the start of stage number 3. And Caleb, with the tire fall off, do you think it makes any sense, and I'm just going to pop the question, does it make any sense to try to split this stage in half, come and get some tires, and run everybody down, or do you just not want to stop on under green for any reason here?
I don't think it will be an opportunity to stop under green, if we're going to be completely honest with how this race has been kind of chaotic in a sense. It's, if it was at a really, really short track, then I could possibly see that working. But with them not having to come down pit lane for any sort of fuel, because they can go about 70 laps here, and the stage is only 57 laps. I really don't see a reason why you would, unless it starts to get to a point where it becomes undrivable. So that's just my point of view. I think you just got to stay out as much as you can.
We'll get in the P1 airship. Barney's got the green flag in hand. They're in the restart zone. Sergio Abella will streak away into the lead over Peyton Howell as we head down into turn number 1 to get the final stage underway here at Virtual Darlington. And Howell wastes no time, right to the bottom of the speedway on Sergio Abella. Peyton Howell back to the lead. And now Ryan O'Donohue, he needs to get past Sergio Abella as quickly as possible so he can set his sights on Peyton Howell.
Yeah, Ryan O'Donohue was able to get a better start than Greg Evans. Greg dropping a place there. And they need to start catching Peyton Howell, but they also got to be considerate of their tires if we do get a long green flag run here at the end. Sergio Abella has so far hung on very, very well to those 10-lap old tires over the rest of the field here. He's actually able to hold off Greg Evans and Riley Lean. They're actually kind of closing in together. So, but it looks like Greg Evans finally gets a run and is able to get the move. No, not quite yet, actually.
What Sergio Abella wants here is about a 10-lap run and then a caution, because if it gets 10 laps in and he's able to hold a position in the top 5, everybody else is going to come, because everybody's got at least 2. Everybody should have 2 more sets of tires on pit lane. And so what Abella wants is a small green flag run and a caution. If it stays green for any length of time, his tires are going to fall off a cliff about 10 laps sooner than everybody else's, and he is going to be in deep, deep trouble. Not in terms of handling, maybe. I think he's proven he can handle that, but in terms of speed, he's going to be in deep trouble. Riley Lean got past Greg Evans, and Lean now has firmly established himself in 3rd, Evans 4th, and Evans 5th. Crash Neon has moved into the 6th spot in front of Sam Crow, who is now 7th.
Yeah, Crash was involved in that if you remember, one of the very first incidents of the race, and now he's fighting back inside the top 5. But I feel like that's kind of the story of this race. You know, it feels like everybody except for maybe a few people have gotten into an incident today, and if you've been clean for about the last like 20, 30 laps, you're now inside the top 10. So I think obviously keeping it clean is the key factor here tonight. It's just a matter of how long you're able to keep it clean here, Murph.
You know, it most certainly is, and you know, it's this could be a dandy depending on how long the race goes. Sam Crow has gotten past Crash Neon, and now Sam will set his sights on Sergio Abella. And Sam Crow, one of the smoothest guys that you'll ever meet in a stock car. He's got a long history of running these things. We'll jump on board with Sam as he tries to run down Sergio Abella and get into that top 5. Ryan O'Donoghue starting to lose the back of Peyton Howell, and he's fallen into the clutches of Riley Lean. Lean is there, and we're going to head back up to the battle for, well, maybe not. I thought that was closer than it was. Misread my timing and scoring, Caleb.
You did indeed, but meanwhile, back in the 10th position, actually the battle for 10th, you got Kendall Paul, Justin Osterman, Joshua Siegfried, and David Dunwoody all battling to get a top 10 position here. They're all still kind of together at the moment. Kendall Paul is actually kind of gaining on John Hutchins in front, so it looks like the pack is kind of getting back together a little bit, maybe here, Murph.
You know, Sam Crow last year coined the Mr. Excitement moniker for Justin Osterman, and I think we've proven why tonight. He's been around the center of the action. He continues to run along in the 10th place, but the man who gave him that nickname, Sam Crow, is 6th, and he is working on a top 5 and just very patiently wearing down Sergio Abella. The DVD Motorsports driver, Sam Crow, he's going to duck to the inside. Abella in the wall. Sam Crow says thank you very much, and Sam Crow will move his machine into the 5th spot, and that's going to pretty much string out and solidify the top 5. Peyton Howell is your leader by 1 second over this man, Ryan O'Donoghue, in 2nd. Riley Lean is 3rd. Half a second behind him, Greg Evans 4th, and a second and a half behind them, Sam Crow, and Crow has already opened up a 5-car length advantage over Sergio Abella in 6th, and Abella is about to have company with that snarl of cars, including Crash Neon, Kendall Paul, John Hutchins, and Justin Osterman immediately behind him now.
Yeah, Sergio's tires starting to wear, but he's held on to him very, very well, I will say. About an additional 15 laps on this set of tires, so he's got 25 on them at the moment, and he's still fighting for a 6th place spot. So one thing that everybody else has to keep in mind, obviously you want to get around Sergio, but you also don't want to try to kill your tires doing it, and that's kind of what we saw with Greg Evans. You know, Greg is now on the back of Riley Lean at the moment, and he took a little bit to get around Sergio, but he was very, very patient about it and didn't try to kill his tires. So if you want to try to get around, you know, a car that has older tires, you got to be patient with it. And that's what we've seen with Sam Kerr. That's what we saw with Greg Evans. And now they're starting to catch up back towards not only Riley Lean, but Ryan O'Donoghue as well.
Yeah, Sam Crow that last time was quicker than Peyton Howell, your leader. Greg Evans is doing battle with Riley Lean for the 3rd spot, and Evans now will slip through, and so that'll put teammates 2nd and 3rd. Behind Peyton Howell, Riley Lean will drop to 4th, and Sam Crow is now making time on Riley Lean. He has chopped that deficit to 1 second. It was a second and a half not too long ago. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1, and you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We have one of these just about every night of the week. Indy cars, stock cars, Super Formula cars, Indy Next cars, anything you'd want to see, we've got it right here on P1. Riley Lean is falling off the back of Greg Evans. Sam Crow is reeling him in. Meanwhile, Kendall Paul has drawn alongside Sergio Abella. He'll think better of it, pull back in line, but this is just a matter of time now, I think, before Kendall Paul will get past Sergio Abella.
Again, just being patient. Obviously, the tires are a bit worn at the moment, but even then, Sergio has a bit of more worn tires. So Kendall Paul looking on the inside of turn 3 and 4. He's just going to be patient on exit, be very careful. And he looks like he's going to get the run going into turn 1. And it looks like he's going to bring Crash Neon with him and possibly Justin Osterman.
Yeah, Justin Osterman is going to try to follow them through. He was a little late to the party, but that does not stop Mr. Excitement. He pushes it to the bottom of the speedway, has to lift on exit. Osterman is going to have to wait at least one more set of corners to see if he can't get through Abella. Abella way high through 3 and 4. Osterman will draw alongside underneath, and he too will get past Sergio Abella, and now John Hutchins. We'll see if he can't navigate the number 72 Ford Mustang past Sergio Abella, and Abella is free-falling now through this field.
I think we've seen the limit of those tires. We see a couple cars on the bottom there. I think that's lap traffic. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's Michael Kirk and Luke Reed. They are both multiple laps off the pace. Good for them. To get out of the way of the lead lap cars fighting for a position. No sense in creating any sort of a situation. Multiple laps down, and that's kind of an ethical thing to me, Caleb. It's not illegal to race the lead lap cars. It's not against the rules, but if you're in a position to get out of the way, you probably should. Heck, last night in the race I was in, we had. Your teammate Matt Taylor and I pretty much had the field lapped, and I pulled over and let 2 lap cars that were fighting for position go late in the race just to not interfere.
Yeah, it's just a gentleman's courtesy. You obviously know you're not racing him. You can.
No, Abella in the wall. He keeps it going, but Sergio Abella tagged the wall coming off of turn number 2. John Hutchins had to get out of the gas. Troy Carricker also had to check it up. They didn't run over each other, but Sergio Abella really fighting for grip now as we get into lap 114 and 147, about halfway through this final stage, and Abella in the wall again. If I were him, I'd almost be thinking about coming to get some tires now, Caleb.
It's not a bad idea, especially considering the older set, but you also got to think about, okay, if I come down and caution comes out and I'm a lap down, well, there basically goes the entire strategy. So if we go green to the end, which honestly we've had a very long green flag run here of 25 laps, and it's possible if it goes green to the end, it could be worth the try for Sergio Abella to come down the pit lane, get some new tires, and see how much time he's able to gain back doing that. So it's definitely worth the thought here, Murph.
It is. Last time through for Sergio Abella as Hutchins and Carricker go side by side behind him. 31.527, leaders 31.221. So he's losing 0.3 of a second a lap. Troy Carricker to the inside of John Hutchins. He makes it. Troy Carricker slides through, and that'll put Carricker back into the 10th spot. So he has fought back to a top 10 position after an earlier spin and contact. But Abella now, if he can, he's still, I think the floor for him is going to be about 12th. If he can just maintain there, it might have been worth it to save the set of tires. Best battle on the track outside of Sergio Abella is right here. Kendall Paul, Crash Neon, and Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Peyton Howell and Ryan O'Donohue, Greg Evans have checked out. Riley Lean pretty firmly ensconced in 4th, and Sam Crow has fallen back a little bit from Riley Lean. Had it under a second, but he's now a second and a half off of Riley Lean. So The top 5 very secure in their positions. This is the best battle for position here on the course, although Greg Evans is closing in on Ryan O'Donoghue here. So if they get close, we will flip to them at the front. But Crash Neon, he's going to have a challenge from Justin Osterman here in a minute, I think, Caleb.
Yeah, Mr. Excitement. They don't call him Mr. Excitement for nothing. We mentioned earlier how much he's been up and down the field, getting into the battles and going side by side, basically every chance he can get. And it seems like he's got a little bit of advantage over Crash Neon, possibly having a little bit better tires. Crash, I think, started behind further back at the beginning of the stage than Justin did. So maybe the tires are starting to come back to Mr. Excitement here to try and make a move over Crash Neon. While we got that battle for Crash Neon and Justin Osterman, I do want to point out that Ryan O'Donoghue and Greg Evans are almost going side by side for second here. They go down the front stretch. It looks like Greg Evans has got a move going down into turn 1.
Yeah, Greg Evans has saved the tires on the deuce, and he's going to pull past Ryan O'Donoghue. Greg Evans move him into second. Ryan O'Donoghue is going to drop to the 3rd spot. Now, if you're O'Donoghue, that may not turn out to be a bad move. You get a caution flag. You get to come down, get yourself 4 fresh tires. You're going to restart on the inside as opposed to the outside. And we've seen restarting 3rd almost be preferred to restarting 2nd. Basically, in every restart that's occurred this season, Riley Lean was big sideways coming off of turn number 4. Watch this. It's Riley Lean. Here he comes. He's going to come off turn 4. Watch this. Watch Lean here. Caleb, he's pedaling hard. The problem is, though, at Darlington, that's counterproductive. In the wall again.
In the wall, it seems. I guarantee you, his tires are basically gone. Not to say that anybody else's tires are still there. To be completely honest, it's Darlington, but I think Riley is now starting to show the signs of war with his tires, and that's allowed the group behind him of Sam Crow, Kendall Paul, Crash Neon, Justin Osterman, Troy Carricker, all able to gain on the 4th place position here.
Yeah, I mean, there's the rear bumper of Riley as he tags the wall at the exit of turn number 4 a little bit. You see the sparks. He's looking back at Sam Crow, and Crow has been anywhere from a 2.5 to a second behind Riley Lean pretty reliably for about the last 20 circuits. He'll reel him in. Riley Lean will get away, and they kind of play that game. But there's Riley Lean. Sam Crow is starting to fall backward toward Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul was a 10th quicker the last time through. This time, Sam Crow a touch quicker, and those two are getting away from Justin Osterman just a little bit. Riley Lean just a little bit slower than Crow and Paul. The front 3 are very stable. Greg Evans marginally quicker than Peyton Howell, about 3 hundredths of a second. The problem for Greg Evans is, he's going to run out of time. Even at a 10th a lap, he would run out of time here. So, those guys that are all strung out at the front, they're really thinking about a caution flag here, maybe to come get some new tires. See Sam Crow navigate around the number 20 of Luke Reed. Crow tag the fence, and that's going to let Kendall Paul pull to his inside.
Yeah, you see Kendall gets a decent run through turn 3, but having the outside line, Sam Crow, well, it looked like he was going to get a good run through the middle of the corner. That Kendall Paul actually getting a better exit on the exit of 4. Kendall having the preferred line going into turn 1, and he's able to get that position. Kendall Paul up into the 5th position, into the top 5, and now Justin Osterman is looking on Sam Crow to try to get into the 6th position.
It does indeed, and look, I mean, You know, Kendall Paul, Sam Crow are both running very similar races here. They've been very quiet. They've been very effective. They've saved their stuff. Sam Crow, though, I think he's finally worn his out. Sideways off of turn 4 one more time. Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, will check up and cut him a break. Sam Crow, though, trying to hold on to that 6th spot. Kendall Paul is already through, and this is the best battle for position on the track. The leaders are all separated by quite a bit at the front. O'Donoghue losing time to Evans, but gaining time on Riley Lean. This is positions 5 through 9. Paul, Crow, Osterman, Carricker, and Crash Neon. Sergio Abella has dropped off the back of this crew, and there's Abella. He's being followed and hounded by John Hutchins, and that's the final spot in the top 10. Kind of let you know where others are running. On the lead lap, there's David Dunwoody. He is in 12th in the Gray Ghost, not feeling well, just trying to nurse it home for a finish is David Dunwoody. Joshua Siegfried is 13th, and there's Siegfried. He is significantly quicker, about 4/10 than Dunwoody. Chad Meadows, 14th. And there you see Meadows, the National Guard colors. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is the final car on the lead lap in the Robert Turnbull Special. And there he is. Say Hey Lewis Hayes runs along 15th. And we've got 15 on the lead lap. Peyton Howell will check back in with the leader. 2.5 seconds over Greg Evans. Ryan O'Donoghue is third. And there he is behind Evans as they lap Michael Kirk. We'll head back to this fight because Troy Carricker has once again caught Justin Osterman. He has to check up for Osterman. Through goes Crash Neon, and they've got the 64 there. TJ Wood not involved in the fight for position.
It seems like Crash Neon has a little bit of pace, and we see there's a massive gap between Sam Crow and Justin Osterman. That battle of Kendall Paul all the way down to Troy Carricker has now only has completely separated. It's now just Osterman, Neon, and Carricker all battling for this 7th place position. And now it looks like Crash Neon's going to have a really good run on the back straightaway going into turn number 3. He holds the inside line. Osterman, Mr. Excitement, holds the outside line. They make contact through turn 4, and Crash Neon's able to clear him coming off the corner.
Gave him a bit of the door, a little bit of a jimmy, a little bit of a juke, and through goes Crash Neon. And now Osterman's going to have to deal with Troy Carricker, and Carricker has been trying to pass Justin Osterman for at least the last 20 laps. He gets a huge run. Whoa! Oh! Contact!
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Contact between Justin Osterman and Troy Carricker will bring out the caution at lap 134 of 147. And let's have a look at what we can have a look at. Osterman was a little slow off the corner. Carricker will get to the inside. Osterman drifts down, and, well, there's the left rear quarter panel of Troy Carricker, and around Carricker goes. Caution is on the Speedway, and heavy damage to the 94 of Troy Carricker. And I would bet you a shiny new dime, Caleb, that we are going to see every single driver on this lead lap hit the pit lane.
I think I'd be surprised if anybody did stay out, to be completely honest. You got to take tires here. I mean, it'll probably be 10 laps to go by the time this caution ends. You got to take tires. It's going to be full push from the end here. 10 laps is about the limit of what these tires can do full push. And I'd be very curious to see, because I think Greg Evans might, if he gets a really good restart, he might be able to get around Peyton Howell, because it seems like he is the fastest car on track at the moment.
Yeah, there you see everybody is going to hit the pit lane. Nobody stayed out. Everybody wants to get tires. Peyton Howell down off the jacks, and away he goes down the pit lane. And we'll see the race off of pit road as it happens. Cautions in the AMA are brought to you by Admin Box. If you're a race controller,
Ooh.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I think Greg Evans got Ryan O'Donoghue on pit lane. Yes,
Greg
he is. He's out in front.
Yeah, Greg Evans got Peyton Howell on pit lane. It wasn't Ryan O'Donoghue. Greg Evans, now your leader. Peyton Howell second. Ryan O'Donoghue is third, and the DVD boys are going to have the inside line. Cautions in the AMA are brought to you by Admin Box. Race control at the touch of a button. If you're a league administrator, you run hosted sessions, you're a race controller, Admin Box with 2x's.com for a custom race control button box. It's a fine addition to any rig. This is going to get fun. The inside line gets to go first. The outside line is preferred through turns 1 and 2. The inside line is what you want through 3 and 4. Caleb, would you rather be Evans, Howell, or O'Donoghue here? Or would you rather be Riley Lean if they all run over each other?
Well, if anything, what the first two stages is, I would want to be at the back of the field and just avoid the big one for if it does happen. But if we're taking it at the front of the field, obviously you want to be the pole sitter. You get to set the pace, you get to set the tone, and you get the run and going into turn 1. That's where I want to be at all times for turn 1. Other than that, then Ryan O'Donoghue, obviously lining up on the inside line, is the second best option in my opinion.
Well, and the other
scenarios.
The other thing about that is O'Donoghue and Evans are in communication, so O'Donoghue is going to know when Evans goes. Peyton Howell has no idea. But O'Donoghue and Crow are going to know when Evans goes. They're approaching the restart zone. Barney's got the green flag in hand.
Green flag, green flag.
And away we go. Peyton Howell spins the tire, so does Sam Crow. Greg Evans will streak away into the lead. O'Donoghue does not get the run to the inside of Peyton Howell. He'll slot in third, and we are fixing to see a battle royale for the lead and the win here at Darlington with 9 laps to go. Greg Evans, your leader. Howell second, O'Donoghue third. Kendall Paul's going to look to the inside of Riley Lean. Contact!
Oh!
Evans around hard.
Caution is out.
All
Caution
3
is
leaders
out.
into the wall. Sam Crow collects Peyton Howell. And displeasure shown from Greg Evans, the contact at the end. That was the second interesting thing we've seen tonight, Caleb. Watch the there's one. Well, let's get further back. And we're gonna watch here from Peyton Howell. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. And O'Donoghue just nowhere to go. All 3 cars, hard contact. And then poor Sam Crow, he's avoided everything all night. And Sam, with nowhere to go, clouts Peyton Howell.
Yeah, he just unavoidable situation. Again, we say every single caution when these cautions do come out. The situations are unavoidable, but thankfully, doesn't look. Again, this doesn't mean anything, but it does look like the damage on Sam Crow's nose does not seem to be absolutely awful. There is a bit of damage on the front end, but I don't think it's affected suspension at all. So it looked like it was head on. So hopefully he's able to fight for the lead here with probably 5 to go when they go green here.
Yeah, we're looking at the damage. The front air dam of that Camaro is all tore up, and and that's a shame. Sam Crow had kept it clean for the entirety of the event. But Arrow is not a huge deal here, Caleb, as you know, and he's got Crash Neon, John Hutchins behind him. Both of those cars have seen their share of action this evening. On pit lane, you've got Greg Evans, Peyton Howell, TJ Wood, and they are still, well, Greg Evans is going to pull away. Peyton Howell is going to go a lap down. There's Evans, so he makes it off a pit lane, and I'm sure he's fitted a new set of tires. Remember, he had a couple of sets. He should have a couple of sets left, and so surely he's got him a new set of tires there. So Evans is going to hot foot it back around. Is he going to pull it back onto pit lane in the Freightliner Deuce and the Rusty Wallace throwback? He will not. Ryan O'Donoghue also had a piece of that, and O'Donoghue did not pit. So Ryan O'Donoghue stayed out, and here's the situationship for O'Donoghue, and you see the wrinkles in the front of his Chevrolet. That car has sustained some damage. He's not going to pull it into pit lane, though, Caleb. He wants to stay out and fight for this win.
Yeah, with 5 laps to go, I think you just got to risk it all and see what the damage is until you go green. And track position obviously is everything at Darlington. Very hard to pass even on new tires.
Green.
And he's able to get a good start over the outside line. Green flag waves here at Darlington. They go single file for the first 3. Ryan O'Donoghue, Riley Lean, and Kendall Paul lead them going into turn number 2.
Sam Crow must have had engine damage because he's already dropped to the 8th spot. Meanwhile, and he's on the high side. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Donoghue trying to hold off Riley Lean, and there's contact again. Kendall Paul will sneak into the lead. Caution, David Dunwoody will collect Riley Lean, and hard impact on O'Donoghue. I don't know who that was, but somebody ARCA braked in there and absolutely demolished Ryan O'Donoghue. Here he is, and that's the 125 of Brian Sharp. You see TJ Wood spinning to the inside. O'Donoghue and Sharp both with meatballs, and that's going to end their day. The leader is going to be Kendall Paul now, over Crash Neon and Sergio Abella. And look at who's 4th. David Dunwoody is 4th. The man who's been fighting illness all day long, he is in the 4th spot. Sergio Abella with a chance at a podium here, and we're going to get a green-white checker, Caleb.
Well, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. Whether or not this will be the only 2-lap shootout, I don't know. But look at the top 3 at the moment. Kendall Paul, he's kept it clean. He's kept his car clean. Now he's going to restart up front. Crash Neon, he had that really early incident at the beginning of the race. Now he's in 2nd. And Sergio Bella, gambling with the tires, having 10-lap-old tires at the beginning of stage number 3. Now he's back in 3rd. I mean, this race has just been ups and downs for all these drivers here today, and now it's going to be a 2-lap shootout to see who will prevail at Darlington here.
Riley Lean, Sam Crow, Andrew Jones, Christian Light, all on pit road under repair. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind the pit road here at Darlington stretches for forever. You have to enter at turn 2. You have to enter off at turn 3. That's the backstretch pit road. You got to enter right about the middle of turn 3, and it is a long pit road. You don't really get off of it there's the entrance. You don't really get off of it until somewhere in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And so it is a long pit road, and you need to have that in your calculator when you come into the pit lane. Sam Crow is off, down and away. Riley Lean the same. Ryan O'Donoghue has gotten out of the number 14, and that's a shame. He led better than half of this event. Thank you so much to Shelby Carricker. Thank you, Shelby. for the super chat. We definitely appreciate that. Troy is currently shown in the 10th spot. There he is in the Mac Attack with a green-white checker upcoming. Kendall Paul, Crash Neon, row 1. Sergio Abella, David Dunwoody, row 2. Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, John Hutchins. They're going to be in row 3. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is all of a sudden the DVD Motorsports leader. He is 7th alongside Joshua Siegfried. Chad Meadows and Troy Carricker are going to be row 5. Greg Evans has effected repair, so has Andrew Jones. They're going to go from 11th and 12th. Sam Crow and Riley Lean, 13th and 14th. As we get ready to decide it, they're going to get the green, they're going to get the white, and then the next flag will end the race. Kendall Paul sees Barney with the green flag in hand, and Kendall Paul hits the loud pedal. Away we go.
Kendall getting a really good run that actually allows Sergio Abella to slide into the second spot. Crashing on into the wall, and we got car around.
Caution is out.
Caution on the speedway. Sergio Abella, more contact. Carricker involved in the back, but that all started with Sergio Abella at the front here. Crash Neon is on the top, and Abella wasn't quite clear. David Dunwoody is the luckiest man in Darlington. Around goes Justin Osterman. Greg Evans avoids it. Say Hey Lewis Hayes gets tagged a little bit, and then poor Troy Carricker nowhere to go. He's gonna become involved, and poor Troy. After all that, the crazy thing is Troy Carricker gains a spot. He's trying to navigate high, thinking Abella's going to come low. There's the meatball for Say Hey Lewis Hayes. He made contact with John Hutchins. Hayes, Abella, Luke Reed, and Brian Sharp all have acquired meatballs as a result of recent contact. Kendall Paul is now your leader with David Dunwoody in second. Joshua Siegfried, and Siegfried, you mentioned cars that have been in the wall. Joshua Siegfried might have had one of the most eventful nights. He's been in the fence more than once. He's third, so too Chad Meadows is fourth, and Greg Evans is back to fifth. Right, so there's Evans. Andrew Jones has been involved in multiple accidents. He's seventh. You see the wrinkles on that Chevrolet. Sixth. Riley Lean is seventh. Troy Carricker got wrecked, and he gained 2 spots. He is 8th. Osterman 9th, and John Hutchins is 10th. All of those cars sporting damage. Sam Crow is 11th. He is back for further repair. Crash Neon on the pit lane is also back for more repair. And we're going to get one more crack at a green-white checker.
I think we need a new term for the Darlington stripe for what we witnessed here tonight. Murphy, it's a little bit more than just a stripe, I say.
It is indeed. It's been an interesting one, but when it comes down to it, it's going to be Kendall Paul and David Dunwoody. Sam Crow is going to get the black flag too fast exiting, so that's tail end of the longest line, and I'm sure Sam doesn't really care about that one. But it's going to be Paul and Dunwoody on row 1, Siegfried and Meadows row 2, as we come to get green for the second attempt at a green-white checker. Do want to welcome Mercy Lesma Racing to the chat. Just bought a new gaming PC today, mows the wheel tomorrow, and we're going to see him on P1 Broadcasting. Welcome, Mercy. Thank you so much for joining in. Big crowd on hand as always. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. You're watching the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series at Darlington. It is take number 3 on a green-white checker. Kendall Paul will lead him down. David Dunwoody is second, and away we go. Dunwoody spins the tires on the top. That lets the whole bottom through. Carricker in the wall. Hutchins hits him We stay green. Kendall Paul, Siegfried, and Greg Evans now has gone to third. Dunwoody is in fourth.
Kendall Ball has about a 3-car length advantage over second place. Greg Evans has a really good run. Is he going to look inside turn 3? No, he is patient, but right behind him is David Dunwoody. Look around the outside of turns 3 and 4. Kendall Paul is going to take the white flag here, Murph. Next flag ends it.
Next flag will end the race, and we've got a Donnybrook for second, third, and fourth. Greg Evans is going to work over Joshua Siegfried, and Evans has fresher tires than Siegfried by 4 green flag laps. Evans right up on the back. Siegfried hits the wall. Evans will pull to the back of the number 99, but he didn't quite get the run. He's got one more crack at him coming through 3 and 4 as Siegfried pulls in on Kendall Paul. Not quite enough. Kendall Paul is going to come across and win the race. Greg Evans, Siegfried make contact. Siegfried second, Evans third, David Dunwoody fourth, and Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, is fifth. Whew. They're going to have to quit doing this, or I'm going to have to buy more. I'm going to have to buy some more Rolaids. As you see, Dunwoody, Dunwoody, and Justin Osterman yucking it up after the end, a little extracurricular activity. But your Rogue Energy winning moment, if you go to rogueenergy.com, use promo code AMA24, get 10% off your order, and the Rogue Energy winning moment is going to go to Kendall Paul in the number 78 Outland Custom Arms Archway Industrial Coatings Ford Mustang, and he'll burn him down, Caleb.
Well, I think there's one key factor about that. He was the cleanest car all night.
Yeah, Kendall Paul, there is not a mark on that Mustang unless he hits something during his burnouts. And there he goes. That is the first contact Kendall Paul has had during this race. Kendall Paul with the Rogue Energy winning moment. RogueEnergy.com, promo code AMA24, gets you 10% off. I think he's a happy dude. Joshua Siegfried will be second. Greg Evans will round out your podium. David Dunwoody, Justin Osterman will round out the top 5. Chad Meadows, Andrew Jones, Crash Neon, Riley Lean, and John Hutchins positions 6 through 10. Sam Crow will bring it home 11th. Troy Carricker is 12th. Those two cars heavily damaged, and they'll be the last two on the lead lap. Christian Light 13th. Say hey, Lewis Hayes 14th, and Sergio Abella, the fine run goes for naught. He'll finish 15th. Christopher Logan, Luke Reed, Ryan O'Donohue, TJ Wood, and Brian Sharp will round out your top 20 in 21st. Peyton Howe, Michael Kirk, 22nd. James Hodgson, 23rd. Ted Craven, Trevor Ryan, 24th and 25th. Barry Seaman, Donald Green, Lee Campbell, Randy Dunlap, Alan Steigerwalt, and Eric Corder will round out your starters, as Kendall Paul has parked it on the start-finish line, Caleb.
Quite a fitting image. I mean, just look at that car. There is not a scratch on it. Not a single scratch.
No, and that's the way it's done, right? We're gonna get some drivers up here. We'll talk to Greg Evans just as soon as we get some replays queued of the Deuce. And there's Greg. He's not yet made his way to the waiting room, and so we're going to give Greg Evans just a moment to cool off. It's been an evening here at Darlington, and I'm sure there's some guys that would love to that might need a breath, and so I'll move Greg to the waiting room and give him a chance to breathe here before we bring him in. Greg Evans, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy? Greg Evans, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy? So Greg cannot hear us. We're going to move him back to his team. We'll see if we can't chat with Greg in just a minute. We will bring in Joshua Siegfried. Josh, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You hear us? I'm not muted, am I, Caleb?
No, you cut out there.
I didn't hear anything you said.
Okay, Joshua Siegfried, you've got Caleb Brashear and Mark Murphy in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining in. That was an eventful ending to the race. Tell us how you navigated through it and wound up bringing it home in the second spot.
Well, I'm honestly going to be 100% honest with you. That car was really bad ever since the incident with Greg, which, I was hoping that wasn't going to happen, but it did. Yeah, it was destroyed. I mean, it wasn't turning at all. I was running 14th after I repaired all the damage and everything as most of the I could. So I have no idea how I got second. I can't.
Well, it doesn't matter sometimes how pretty it is. It just matters how it finished. And you wind up in the middle step of the podium. For intelligent questions, I'll turn you over to my broadcast partner, Caleb Brashear. Caleb, take it away.
Well, I feel like we all need a cool down after that one. So, how are you going to cool off after this, how should we put it, eventful race?
Oh, let me tell you, the last 25 laps I was sweating. I had my hands full, and then that caution came out, and it honestly helped me. But with all the wrecks and everything, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I got second, obviously. But I tried to throw everything I had at the 78, but I couldn't do it. Yeah.
No, I mean, you did. You picked your way through. You picked your way through the wrecks at the end. You put yourself in the middle step of the podium, and with that comes the microphone. Josh, friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours.
Well, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, and Vice Esports. They've been on the car, and the last couple of weeks weren't really a good. A couple of races in the last few weeks wasn't really good. But come to Darlington, got to keep that momentum up because I gotta stop having those bad finishes.
Yeah, it's always a good points day when you finish in the top three for sure, especially after you've had a couple of bad runs. So, congratulations on the finish. Keep going fast and having fun, Josh, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you. See you guys.
Absolutely. Joshua Siegfried is your second place runner. For third place, we'll try again. Greg Evans, you've got Murph, and you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy? Greg Evans, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
You guys hear me now?
We can hear you now. We tried once, and I think the connection between Indiana, South Carolina via Boston may not be treating us the best. But thank you so much for joining in. The deuce is beaten and it's battered, but you got it on the podium. Talk to us about your night.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good race going. Just trying to save what we could for the long run, and just on the second restart, just kind of, I don't know if me and the 99 touch or something, I forget who it was, but just got super loose, and then had to go to the back. But I think that was in a way kind of a good thing there. Kind of taught us a little bit, and just worked our way back up there and got the lead with every laps to go, and not really sure what happened after that.
Gotcha. Caleb, what do you have for Mr. Greg Evans this evening?
Well, Mike, it's a similar question I asked Josh. I think we all need a cool down after that. How are you gonna cool off after this race and just take a mental breather after it?
I mean, I'm good to go now. You know, I guess if I got anything to say about it, I mean, Indy cars, dirt racing, oval track racing. I know Peyton's been got a really high rating. He's been doing it a long time. But whenever you're following somebody into a corner, whether they brake harder or brake softer or drive it deeper or don't drive it deeper, it's my uh, belief that it's your responsibility to stay off the car in front of you. Um, you know, I can't judge how deep I drive a car or where I brake at, depending on how hard the guy behind me wants to race me or drive it in there. So I'm sure we'll have a discussion after that or after the race. I know he's already messaged me, you know, but whenever you come into any league, I don't care what your I rating is, how much experience you've got. You race guys clean, and that's how you get respect. Um, and you know, I was the new kid last year. Had to take my bumps and everything, and you know, didn't have or had some races where it was uh, not the best, but yeah, I'm sure we can talk about it and figure it out, but just really feel like just got ran over tonight. He hit me once, got me loose. I had to try to save it, and I was still trying to stay on the bottom. Then he hit me again, turned me sideways, and then just hit me a third time. And dude, I mean, there's only so much I can do to save the car when you're just not letting me save it.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for stopping in. I know it's I know you kind of salvaged what you can get. It's still a podium, and you still made up quite a bit in terms of points on Peyton. So um, not an altogether unproductive evening. But we thank you so much for stopping in, friends, family, sponsor, shout outs. The floor is yours, Greg.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Did a special throwback paint scheme for John Van Varelis. It was one of his Xfinity cars from back in the day. But hoping we get a better finish than that. But hey, sometimes it works out that way. That's part of racing. But I got the Sim Magic Freightliner, Simshop, Sim Lab, DNR Racing, Sure Tape and Duct Tape. I think that's got everybody covered. And uh, like I said, just this whole season's dedicated to John Van Varelis, and I think his brother Charles is watching tonight. Wish we could have got a better finish. Like I said, sometimes that happens. That's part of racing, and I'm sure me and Peyton can talk it out, and we'll be good from here on out. And hopefully, both of us earn a little bit of respect tonight.
For certain, sure. Well, Greg, thank you so much for stopping in. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. That is Greg Evans. He runs in the third spot tonight. And for your winner, we're going to bring in Kendale Paul. Kendale, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth.
The wrong guy. Sorry.
Wrong. Well, somehow we gave us the wrong. The wrong person. There we go. All right. Kendale Paul, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you guys. What's going on?
I'll tell you what, your Ford is pretty much the only car on the Speedway that does not have a mark on it. The first contact you made was with the inside wall doing burnouts, and that's a testament to racing the racetrack and not the other cars necessarily. Were there any moments where you thought you were gonna damage the sheet metal on the 78, or was it just stay out of trouble, stay out of trouble, stay out of trouble, and take what the racetrack gives you?
There was definitely a few couple of times where I thought we were gonna pull in a fender or something. 'Cause there was a couple close calls off of two, and just got tight behind people and that sort of stuff. So there was a few times there, and just from the drop of the green flag, the plan was to just get what I can get, and if somebody wants to be aggressive and pass, let them on by. And because how you treat Darlington, how I treat Darlington at least, is you let the guys by and let them go burn their stuff up, and then have the fastest car on the racetrack at the end in that little pack because he saved tires. And that was the plan from the green flag, was just ride and not get wrecked. That was a big thing. And I'm shocked to look at the leaderboard right now and be the only one with 0x. This race was definitely a race of nutrition, and for the longest time, I thought I was just going to settle there in fifth right before that yellow with 13 to go. I was just settling into fifth, and that caution comes out, and I was like, oh great, here we go. This is where it's going to get dicey and that sort of stuff. And I guess the leaders decided, well, certain people have decided for other people that they're not going to let them have the win, and they all just, it was crazy. I've never seen the seas part so many different times for me, and I probably just wasted my whole luck bar for the rest of the week, for probably for the rest of the month. Tends how it goes, because freaking won the Daytona 500 last month, and then I didn't have great hot luck the rest of the weeks, and then that was crazy.
Caleb?
I don't believe I've asked you this question yet, but I've asked this for the past 2 winners. What's your favorite chicken wing flavor?
Chicken wing flavor? You see, the sad thing is I can't eat chicken, unfortunately, so I will have to say I don't know. I mean, I guess ranch. I don't know. I haven't ate chicken for so long. It's kind of sad. I miss chicken, but I unfortunately cannot have chicken.
Apologize for I apologize for that. Then
No, you're good.
He's
It's an unfortunate thing, but
he's a poor college student, Caleb. He can't afford chicken wings even if he could eat them. So it's, you know,
I've recently upgraded to mac and cheese. Thank you. We've went from ramen noodles to mac and cheese. We're moving our way up.
yeah, it's anytime, that was the delicacy, right? When you moved from ramen noodles to Easy Mac in the dorm, that's when you knew somebody got a winning scratcher, or their mom sent some money, or they went home for the weekend and made their parents go grocery shopping, right? So get you a chicken fried steak instead, Kendale. But
yeah.
thank you so much for dropping in as always. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. You get the mic.
Yeah, here, let me pull up my car here first. But first and foremost, the one that I know the best is Archway Industrial Coatings. Like I've said for the past couple of weeks that I've fortunately been up here, Archway's been a great help, and all that you see here for the league, the broadcast, the media side of things, anything league-wise, it's thanks to Archway and the amazing staff team that I have. Unfortunately, with going to a new college and getting the meat of things in the meteorology world, I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff, and the staff team has really picked up the slack, so I got to thank them. But back to Archway, they've been here with us for 2-3 years now, and whatever you want to do, they say whatever you would like, go right ahead. We support you 100%. So I got to thank them so much, and got to thank Outland Custom Arms, sponsor of the series. They just jumped on with us this year. They've been great to work with, and Randy. So can't thank them all enough, and Sean with Archway, and Jason Southard. So I can't thank them. Those guys, the staff, I can't thank them enough. It's been a great help, and it's like I said, the league wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So I can't thank them enough. And I gotta thank all the, I guess, the partners and other sponsors of the league: Admin Box, Black Magic Studios, Track Racer, Rogue Energy. They've put in something into the league and helped us out too as well. So I gotta thank them a lot. And then let's see. I gotta thank the friends and family that allow me to do this, and it's been a busy couple of days right now, working with an apartment move and that sort of stuff. So it's been a crazy past couple of weeks. So gotta thank my friends and family for letting me take a break, and let them take a break from helping me for doing that, and let me race and that sort of stuff. So I can't thank them enough. And gotta thank you up here in the broadcast booth for broadcasting as always. It's been great to watch them back, and yeah, I think that's all that I got, and thank you. And I guess thank you all to everybody at home watching. It's been a great crowd so far, and can't thank you guys enough, and hope to see some more faces in here soon.
Absolutely. Well, Kendale, you don't win so much at Darlington as you survive it, and you definitely survived tonight. You take the car to victory lane. Congratulations. Keep going fast, having fun, and we will see you at the next one, my friend.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. That is Kendale Paul. He is your winner tonight. And Caleb, We saw a race. Probably not the type of ending that we've come to expect from the AMA, but it was exciting nonetheless. And in the end, it was the guy who did all the right things all night. Didn't put a mark on the car. He drives it home with the W. Kendall Paul, your winner. What are your final thoughts this evening?
I think I can finally take a breather now. I think both you and me and everybody here at Darlington can take just one big breather after that very, very, very eventful race. Hopefully the next race will be just a tiny bit less chaotic. That's just a little bit.
He says he hopes it's a tiny bit less chaotic. Good racing will be had, though, here on the channel. Tomorrow, we're going to be right back here at Darlington for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. That's going to go 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 green flag for the trucks here at Darlington. And that really starts a run of broadcasts here on the channel. Saturday, it is the 2026 IndyCar iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 40 Racewear. 2 o'clock from the newly scanned St. Petersburg Street Course. Sunday, 8 o'clock. It is the 8 o'clock Eastern. It's the votive Indy Oval Series, Season 4, Round 5 from Chicagoland. To Monday night, we're going to start our official doubleheaders. It's the IndyCar Open Series at 8. They're going to be followed by the Indy Next Road Series at 10. On Tuesday, the flagship broadcast, the IndyCar Oval Series, will visit Richmond at 8:15 Eastern Time. The Indy Next Oval Series at 9:30. They are from USA International. And at the same time, we'll have the Area 51 IndyCar Series from the Daytona Road Course. Wednesday, it's another doubleheader. The Horizon IndyCar Series at 8. They will be at Mossport. The Formula Super Series will be at the Red Bull Ring at 8:20 Eastern. And that brings us right back here to the P1 Broadcasting Network. 1 week from today, it's the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start right here on P1. We do want to thank all of the drivers for giving us the incredible show this evening. We want to thank the fans in the stands. Without you guys, none of this is possible. If you could, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We also want to thank all of the series sponsors: Outland Custom Arms, Archway Industrial Coatings, Track Racer, Admin Box, Blackmagic Studios, and Rogue Energy for their support. And we really want to thank the people that really make it possible: the military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance. And Caleb, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the nurse that unloaded you when you get there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow night.